Hi, friends. I'm Scott Giles, and welcome to Power Talk, my podcast here on Facebook Live and YouTube. I cover topics related to spirituality, hypno-coaching, and the hypnotic arts and sciences generally. If you'd like to know more about my professional work, check out my website, which I'll tag at the end of this video. Today, I'd like to talk about a theme that's been a huge one in my personal life: the ability to transform adversity into something useful. Now, people who know me know that I grew up in a family that on the maternal side was something of a train wreck. There were lots of issues and problems, and I'm not going to talk about any of those today. But what I do want to talk about is the ability that I think really does set some people apart from others: the ability to find the advantage even in a bad situation. And I'll be self-flattering enough to believe that I have that ability and that it served me well in dealing with the mess I came out of in my childhood. Now, one of the people who has really influenced me by his personal example was a man by the name of Clement Stone. People around my age may recognize the name. Stone was, during his lifetime, one of the wealthiest people in America. He was the president of Combined Insurance, now called Aon. Stone grew up poor. He worked selling insurance policies door to door and had many a door slammed in his face. But as he thought about it, he realized that every 10 doors slammed in his face would eventually yield one sale. So he approached his workday realizing that in order to sell, say, 3 policies, he had to withstand rejection 30 times. That made it easier. Every slammed door took him one step closer to his next sale. So while his colleagues were all demoralized by the adversity of the slammed doors, he was energized by them. He found the advantage in a bad situation. Now, Stone would eventually become a big deal in the positive thinking world. He would write a book titled Success Through a Positive Mental Attitude, along with some other books. I met Clement Stone at the first meeting of the Napoleon Hill Foundation, an organization created to spread positive philosophy. In fact, one of the books in my library that I cherish the most is a leather-bound edition of The Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill, which was a personal gift to me from Mr. Stone himself. One of the things that Stone would always say was, "You got a problem? That's good." Because he believed that every time you encountered a problem in your life, you were actually being presented with the opportunity to advance yourself, to make yourself better by figuring out a response to that problem. I have always taken this instruction to heart. Whenever I've encountered a problem, I've always asked myself how I could turn that problem into an advantage. I have not always been successful, but often I have been. Now, no one likes trouble. We all want things to go smoothly. If you've ever read Cervantes' book Don Quixote, you may relate to what I'm about to say, because I sometimes joke that we all have 2 parts in our personalities. We have a Don Quixote part that wants to do what is right and noble, and we have a Sancho Panza part. Panza was Don Quixote's sidekick. But Panza was lazy and just wanted to relax and to get drunk and to have a good meal and to sleep a lot. So we all have a Sancho Panza part that just wants to find an easier, softer way. The trouble is that often there isn't an easier and softer way. And people who can transform adversity into something useful, who can find the benefit in a bad situation, know that. The image that has helped me is one I read about when I was learning about rescuing animals. Uh, I'm a huge animal welfare guy, and we often do rescue animals around here that are in some form of hardship. The image was watching a caterpillar trying to emerge from a cocoon to become a butterfly. The little creature struggles to pull himself free from the cocoon. The writer, who wanted to be helpful, tried to assist the caterpillar by peeling back the cocoon so it could get out easily. To the writer's dismay, the butterfly that emerged was crippled. The reason for that is that it turns out to be important for a caterpillar to struggle to free itself from its cocoon. If it doesn't struggle, the wings don't strengthen properly and spread as they're supposed to. So trying to be helpful, he actually did harm. To me, this image is helpful. When I'm struggling with some form of adversity, I often need to go through that struggle in order to benefit. If something happens to take that struggle away from me, the possibility exists that I am being deprived of an experience that I really need to have. The German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche wrote in his book Twilight of the Idols, "What does not kill me makes me stronger." Now, this aphorism has been much quoted, and it's sometimes used to shut people down who are in pain and who really could use a hand up. That said, there is a level of truth to it. Having a problem can be good. Not always. Sometimes it just sucks. But sometimes a problem can show a better way if you think it through like a philosophical person. In Stoic philosophy, there's a theme called "the obstacle is the way." What is meant by that is that there's often an upside to every downside, as philosopher Ryan Holiday puts it. Problems often represent a loss, if only the loss of our internal image about the way things were supposed to go. Holiday often quotes an ancient philosopher, Cicero, who pointed out that, yeah, a deaf man misses out hearing the beautiful music of the lyre, but he also misses out on the squeal of the pig being slaughtered, the loud music playing next door, and so on. You miss out on some things, but there may be a hidden advantage. The key to transforming adversity is to be willing to look for that advantage. Now, there will not always be one, or it may be really tiny, or it may be outweighed by the disadvantage, but still look for it. Let's say you have a cancer diagnosis. That's an adversity, and there's little good about it, but there's a lot of testimony about this from within the cancer survivor community that sometimes, not always, sometimes, the cancer experience can teach you something you needed to learn, like the importance of self-care, the identity of the people who were really there for you as opposed to those who ghosted, the motivation to maybe look at your relationships, occupation, personal style, and decide that there have been some changes you really wanted to make, and now you have the motivation to make them. The hidden advantage in a bad situation. Look for it. You won't always find it because it won't always be there, but I guarantee if you do not look for it, you will not find it. You will always benefit from looking. Hey, thank you for your time and attention today. I'll be back next week with another talk on a different subject. I'd like to invite you to join me. It does help me if you let others know about my videos, so please like, share, and subscribe. If I can be of help to you, feel free to reach out through email, my website, or Patreon channel. Stay well and stay safe.